After the Fermata cage caused Darth Vader's control of the Force to waver, he tracked down Dr. Chelli Afra to help him retrieve the ancient Zayli shield, a weapon made of kyberite that can help Force users focus their energies. Darth Vader utilized the shield to take on the droid uprising that launched an attack on the Sith Lord while his powers were not fully in control. As Vader slowly regained his command of the Force, he turned the tide in the battle with the droid uprising, directing Ochi and Zed to retrieve the scraps of fallen droids and enlist them to serve his dark purposes. This version of Vader has never felt so strong, and with Zed and Ochi grateful to be rebuilt again, they have no problem working by his side. Having now arrived at the Executor, Vader notices he's under attack, and as Zed tried to make positive out of the situation, Vader knew it was something more serious. So, Vader goes out and plans to take care of it himself with the ancient Zayli shield. When him and the droids came out victorious, it wasn't done there, because the command line controlling the ship was then taken out. The system had a failsafe and was a line that could control every droid on board, but will take hours to repair, and Admiral Piet's time is limited. While Vader tried to fix it, Ochi reminds that if he wants to take action, he must remember the words of the Jedi. "You must learn how to use Force without Force," says Ochi. However, these words of encouragement was perceived by Vader as a challenge, so he dismembers Ochi, then moves on. Vader became so powerful that everything near and coming his way stood no chance, which Grand Vizier had to step up and command the admirals to destroy the Executor and everyone on board. Slowly regaining control over the Force with the help of the ancient Zayli shield, Darth Vader passed the tests that was threw at him, and although there was forces targeting Vader and his flagship, he didn't lose hope and reminds that those who serve him will never back down. Admiral Korlek explains he once served under Admiral Piet during the Battle of Comantira, and only when Piet is rescued, Vader will die. As the rescue fleet approached the ship, they were ambushed by some of the killer droids. However, both parties ended up being destroyed by Vader. The killer droids started to replicate and corner Vader, before fortunately the fail-safe repair was complete, resulting in every single bot and droid being disabled. In an attempt to end Darth Vader once and for all, the admirals agree to fire, hoping to destroy the ship. But Vader and his droids escaped to the planet Mustafar, where he once again confronted the Eye of Webbish Bog to seek guidance on his quest for power. The Webbish Bog wonders if Vader is a Sith. Why ask instead of taking? Vader brings up the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, who taught his apprentice everything, only to be betrayed in his sleep. When leaving, Ochi the droid reminds he's ready to serve again, no matter the location, and notices the droid Zed is missing. The other droids make many comms to Zed, letting him know they are leaving Mustafar for Coruscant. All the while, Zed has been overtaken by the Scourge that was affecting droids on the Executor. Vader tries to take down the Scourge, but Zed reveals his body is shielded from electrical attacks and can't be blown apart by kyberite blasts. Perhaps you could dismantle it piece by piece if you had control over your special abilities, but you don't, says Zed. Since he was overtaken, he led an attack on Vader with a Scourged Octuptera droid, but Vader starts to gain his abilities back, as when standing over Ochi to potentially finish him, he remembers hate leads to power, using the Force to send the Scourge flying over on its back. He proceeds to pull out his lightsaber and cuts the legs, as well as the full body. Zed goes on to rant about how Vader has potentially hated him all along, and even possibly fearing him, but Vader has had enough and slices his head off, ultimately walking off, and is now ready to face down those who tested and doubted him. At the Imperial Palace, Vader is hovering in the sky. So due to the Force wave making Vader vulnerable, Emperor Palpatine orders for them to shoot him down. Vader isn't going to go out that easy, and since he passed the tests, he will now test Palpatine. For what? To be betrayed by your own Death Troopers? They obey my commands, not yours, says Palpatine. Are you truly controlling the hate, or does the hate control you? And Vader responds about how he knows that hate leads to power. So Palpatine begs the question of whose hate is greater. On the other hand, one of the droids notices Vader's ship is contaminated, resulting in it being the first victim. Having Vader under control, Palpatine infects the troopers and creates a droid plague. Palpatine reveals he thrives on Vader's hate, and the more he is hated, the stronger he becomes. Having been bested by the Emperor, Vader made a surprising turn, allowing himself to become a part of the Scourge. I am the Scourge. I have learned how to spread my consciousness into any droid I can access. I hunger to consume and expand, so every second I become larger and stronger. Executor, but one target has escaped me, and now finally I have you, Darth Vader. But somehow Vader was able to ward it off, trapping the Scourge in a closed circuit inside his armor. Conversely, Vader reveals in this issue that he wants the Scourge's power and access to his droid hive mind, resulting in an intense battle of wills. I told you, Vader, more voices than you could imagine. This is what it means to wield my power. You cannot endure this. Remove your helmet and let the meat die, says the Scourge. Our mind will endure in all metal vessels we can consume. I can see what you see. You want to be more than a machine. Refusing to be broken by the sheer magnitude of all the minds crashing upon him, Vader's power in the Force allowed him to overcome the Scourge, whom he'd cut off from the rest of the galaxy via a closed circuit within his suit, giving the Sith Lord access to the hive mind. So much so that Vader proved his true nature regardless of the AI virus who desperately wanted the Sith to submit as a machine.